If you have type 2 diabetes and you're tired of being told it's chronic and something you'll just have to manage forever, if your A1C is controlled but your medication list keeps growing or stays the same, and you know deep down you're capable of more than this, you're in the right place. This is the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast. We're Brian Bisher and Corey Jenks, two pharmacists who spent over 2 decades inside healthcare. And we started this show because we got tired of watching capable people stuck getting managed instead of rebuilt. Here's what most people aren't told. Type 2 diabetes isn't just a blood sugar problem, it's a muscle and energy storage problem. When your body loses strength and metabolic flexibility, blood sugar rises, and you can rebuild that. On this show, we break the scripts that say more meds are inevitable, you're destined to just manage, remission isn't possible, and instead we teach you how to build muscle, eat in a way that keeps you full, and regain control of your health again. No extremes, no shame, just practical strategies to help you move toward remission and lead your health again. Let's get to work.
Welcome back to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast. And as this hits your ears, if you downloaded the day it comes out, it is April Fool's Day. And let me tell you, diabetes is no joke. You know, it might be a day that we often do a joke. You might have been expecting something funny from us because it is April Fool's Day and I'm funny and Brian, gets on a call with me. But no, Brian can be funny. It's rare, but it's really special when it happens. But the problem is, diabetes is no joke, but people often treat it like one. So we're going to get into that more specifically. Brian is just looking confused, and I appreciate that. So, but first, a little announcement. So this is not just a special April Fool's Day episode. Brian, we're releasing our shows on Wednesdays now, right?
Yeah. Thanks for letting me get a word in. That's what I was like, maybe looking confused. Just like, is he going to let me talk? But
you can talk whenever you want. There's not
I don't want to interrupt you.
You don't have to raise your hand. This isn't elementary school, Brian.
Maybe I will raise my hand though. No, yeah, we are gonna switch to Wednesdays. That's a new episode release date. Still gonna do some guests on Friday releases, right, Corey? You're the one that's in charge of this. So
I'm in charge of it. So on the first Friday of each month, we'll have a guest, and on the last Friday of each month, we will have a rapid fire Friday, which means that if you are listening to this on the hot, fresh April 1st, 2026 release date, April 3rd, 2026, we got a Friday episode for you. Basically, we're doing this because, Brian, we have been getting a lot of feedback from people that are changing their lives. And you and I, we have these discussions, we have these meetings, we have these brainstorms. There's just too much good stuff. For those of you who live on the West Coast and are familiar with the gas station AM PM, too much good stuff. I hope they don't sue us. So we're just basically giving you 2 bonus episodes a month. It's fun for us to provide that. And in addition to the bonus episodes, Brian, we're taking over. We're basically creating a media empire. So
Yeah.
if you want to see us banter back and forth and not just listen to us, you can head over to our YouTube channel. We are now posting our full video episodes, front to back, like recorded Zoom episodes. So if you want to see us video go back and forth and all the crazy faces Brian makes, head over to YouTube. In addition to that, there's more. I feel like it's an infomercial. That's bad vibes. Ugh. I bought too much stuff from infomercials, but we are doing YouTube shorts now. We are on TikTok, so we're posting clips from our episodes on TikTok and immediately exiting TikTok. So if you're looking for us to hang out there, don't expect to be there. But all over the internet, on X, on LinkedIn, on our Facebook page, on our Instagram page, the clips from the episodes are now video. Brian, how exciting is that?
It's exciting because people have been recommending, or at least I know one person who's been recommending that we do this since inception of this podcast, right? Because we were constantly referencing things like we were seeing on our video, and then people are only listening to us, so there's no real context to it. So now you can see all the hats Corey wears. Currently, he's wearing a Cubs hat.
Yeah.
And
Brian's wearing a Cincinnati Red shirt. And because as we record this, it's the day after opening day, and our teams are at the bottom of the National League Central. So maybe by April 1st, they'll have won a game, and maybe the Reds will score a run by then, but you're not going to have me see me holding my breath. But we also have I have my Little League opening day coming up too for my kids' teams. So a lot of excitement here in the spring, not just our show change cadence, but in our personal lives.
Yeah, if you think Corey's good on the podcast, you should see him run a baseball field with a bunch of 9-year-olds running around. It's impressive. It really is.
Yeah.
And even better, holding a parent meeting. You were so good at holding parent meeting that I was inspired. I'm like, this needs to be a speech and just record it for people to just it was a good coach speech. So that's all I'm trying to say.
Thank you. Wow. I couldn't tell if people liked it or couldn't wait for me to shut up. So hearing that from you, a very biased listener and source really helps me bolster my post-game speech talking or post-practice speech talking.
Yeah. And now you might hear some piano being played in the background. Just a heads up. We have some children that are getting enthused by the piano, and it just echoes throughout the house. So apologies in advance. I will make do. If it becomes too loud, I might have to step away for a minute and let Corey just run the show, which he does anyway. So uh, we'll
At
just
this
go with
at this
that.
point, you might think this is an April Fool's episode. Like we're just going to talk about what we're going to talk about and never actually talk about it. But let's dive in, okay, Brian? I think
Yeah, let's dive
you
in.
you've gotten the updates. You know when to expect us. Check your feeds earlier. Look with your eyes, not with your ears, or both. But yeah, diabetes is no joke, and we're here because it affects so many people in the United States, in the world. If you're listening internationally, but I think a big problem is oftentimes when we say a lot of people treat it as a joke, we're not saying like ha 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 diabetes. We're saying that we don't take it seriously. We underestimate it because a lot of times we'll hear this from at least in my clinic days. My numbers aren't that bad, or I'll deal with this later. I have a lot going on in life, or at least it's not something worse. We kind of like you don't feel high blood sugar unless it's really high, Brian. There's no pain of a high blood sugar until you're literally getting
Mm,
like
yeah.
neuropathy, at which point damage has been done.
Yeah, someone just emailed me about this actually, right? The problem of there's lack of urgency in doing anything because maybe you feel okay, or you don't really know how good you can feel until you actually feel that good, which was something I went through personally. I didn't have diabetes, but there was a point where I just didn't realize I felt like crap until I didn't feel like crap, and I was like, wow, this is how good you're supposed to feel. I
Mhm.
didn't realize that. I remember that when I was a 10-year-old kid and I actually had energy and mental clarity and all these great things that come along with having a better, like healthier metabolism. Yeah, so it's an unseen, so you can kind of take it as a joke. People write it off. That's why they eventually lose limbs and lose organs and have all these complications because they don't take it seriously enough. Yeah, so
And the thing is, it's insidious. It kind of accumulates over time. So even before you have a diagnosis of diabetes, high blood sugar can form what are called advanced glycation end products. Think of if you spill maple syrup on a counter, it's going to make everything it touches sticky. And that's what's happening when you have high sugar in your body. It's sticking to your blood vessels, in your eyes, your kidneys, in your extremities. That's why you start ending up having these symptoms and complications. But what happens is over time, like Brian said, the energy will slowly decline. The way your body can utilize energy efficiently is less so. The medications creep up. Brian and I are pharmacists, so we know this firsthand. It starts with maybe the first sign of metabolic dysfunction or high sugars is actually high blood pressure. So it starts with a high blood pressure medicine, and then maybe a cholesterol medicine, and then you have pre-diabetes, and then okay, your A1C is over 7. Let's put you on metformin, and all of a sudden you go from 0 pills to 3, 4, 5, 6 pills, and it creeps up, and the complications they can creep up slowly, but a lot of times I have seen heart attack being one of the first symptoms of diabetes. You go, I mean, heart attack's a serious thing. Oh, you have a heart attack, you get treated. Oh, by the way, your blood sugar is 350. Oh, okay. So all this was happening at the same time. So it's hard because humans we're bad at thinking ahead. We're bad at the idea of saving for a future or worrying about the future. So these little nicks and cuts metaphorically accumulate over time, and then all of a sudden your body just can't handle it anymore.
yeah, we are creatures of immediate gratification. I would go over this all the time with people who were explaining to me how they were having a hard time putting into practice the things we were talking about, such as just exercising. And it's because we look at gratification now. We look at how hard is this going to be versus the pain of my current situation. And oftentimes, that pain of their current situation did not outweigh or out the pain of change outweighed the pain of their current situation. So we just like you have to almost do some journaling and do some kind of exercises, write down something that is going to make you realize like what is this costing me? And that's what we have people do is like it's a mission statement. You come up with a mission statement and you look at the pain of the cost of change, the cost of not changing, um, all these different things to help you weigh and finally uncover and realize like what is your deeper why for wanting to put diabetes in remission, aka get off all the medications.
Yeah, I think it's when like to summarize that very well said thing you said was when the pain of your status quo outweighs the pain of the change you need to make. And I'm hearing this a lot from the people we work with is things are okay. My doctor says my A1C is good. I'm on a few medicines. You know, I could work out. I don't. I could eat better. I don't. But they see someone in their life where they lose a limb, they lose functionality, they get, I hate to use the term scared straight because we're not here to scare you, but the realities of diabetes complications are legitimate. And Brian used to work in an emergency room. He saw them every day. I worked in an outpatient setting. I slowly saw the decline happening when people were unable, or I'll put the onus on people, unwilling to see the pain that is coming down the line and get off the track when the train's coming at them, so to speak. And so, and we want to have empathy because our modern food environment and food system is set up to overfeed us. We have a system that allows us to sit at home in front of a computer and work without ever having to get up. We could order food in from outside the world and never have to leave our house. So, and humans, we default towards comfort. If you get in a hot car, Brian, you don't know anything about that, but in Tucson, it's already been 100 degrees. You turn on the AC. Like we're not used to that discomfort of anything. So, let alone the idea of totally rehauling your diet and exercise habits.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. We do get used to, we have a comfort crisis. There's a great book on that. I think people should do what they can to make themselves uncomfortable. I did really enjoy the conversations I would have with people and still do now, where I get to really help them dig deep and uncover and help them realize that maybe their current situation is not as great as they think it is, so that that way then they get more motivation to change. Because this was it. This was the problem. They'd be like, I'm not motivated. I need more motivation. And I would
Hear it
tell
all the
them,
time. Hear it
yeah,
all the time.
I just don't have enough motivation, or I need more motivation. I wish I had more motivation. And I will tell you right now, motivation, I wish I could just actually remember off the top of my head what Jim Quick, how he, I can always go back to him too, but what he defined as motivation is it's basically like a deeper reason and
I'll
motivation
tell
is
you what,
not,
Brian, what I'm going to do is I'm going to
hold on.
filibuster here and talk while you Google this quote from Jim Quick
Okay,
because
I'll look it up. Yeah.
it seems like it means a lot to you. But there's different motivations. There's intrinsic. Brian's laughing. This is why you need to get on the video feed because he's laughing at how seamlessly I saved his butt right there as he was floundering trying to find this very profound thing. But I mean, the different motivations we have intrinsic and extrinsic. And I mean, the outside extrinsic, I have kids. Hey, make your bed and you'll get dessert. That's a terrible example on a diabetes podcast, but if do your chores, you'll get money. My kids still don't stick to it. But when my son wanted to do the talent show and get his Rubik's Cube under a certain amount of time while he roller skated, which was a thing he actually did, rollerbladed. If he ever listens to this, he'll correct me. He really wanted to do it. So every day he practiced. Um, Brian mentions piano. Okay. I had a piano lessons as a kid. There was a piano in my house. My parents said I had to practice, but going to the teacher's house that smelled like mothballs was miserable. And I didn't like it. I didn't have an intrinsic reason to do it. No one gave me a someday you're going to really love this and maybe girls will like you more if you could play an instrument. No one gave me these reasons to have intrinsic motivation. So the best motivation comes from within. I mean, hopefully you get motivated listening to us because we empower you with tools to make the change, but ultimately that has to come from within. And Brian has given me a thumbs up as if he is ready to hop
It
back
was
in.
worth it. It was worth
Okay.
it.
All right.
So, and he would basically say like motivation is not a noun, it's an action, it's a thing, and it's broken down into a formula. Jim Quick, he's big on formulas. Seriously recommend his book, Limitless. It's a great book. But it's motivation is purpose, the why. We talk about this all the time. You need a compelling reason to act, such as benefits gained or the consequences of an action we just mentioned before, because these reasons lead to results. And then you need the energy, you need the fuel, because you need to have some physiological energy to sustain over time, to actually follow through. Which, if you're in the case having type 2 diabetes, your energy may be lacking, which is
Mhm.
why you break it down into small, simple steps. That's the third part of the equation is what are some of the small things you can do to as your energy, you can improve your energy through your nutrition, through your exercise and movement, and then that is also then going to add to your ability to continue building towards your goal of remission. So that's it. Purpose, the why, energy, the fuel, and the small, simple steps, the action. That's the formula for motivation that we all, quote unquote, are lacking. We need motivation.
I love that. And it actually leads into the next point I was trying to make is I think overcoming the inertia of the status quo is hard with anything. As painful as your current situation might be, it can seem daunting to say, I'm on five medicines. I want to get off all of them. Like I can't even fathom getting up and going for a walk right now. How am I supposed to get off five medicines? And so our approach, and this is, I think, where Brian and I'm going to toot our own horns a little bit. I think we really shine. It's because we are not out here expecting perfection from you listeners, from our clients. It's not to scare you. There's a lot of people out there giving information on all kinds of conditions that are trying to scare you, like seven foods that are going to kill you, eight foods that are, whatever it's going to be, right? We're not here to scare you. We're not here to tell you to be perfect. We're here to help you give you small, practical steps. All right. It's not about being perfect. It's just a little bit closer to better every day, every moment, every decision. And those little wins stack up. And I think we're sold this idea that you need to have this silver bullet magic moment, rip the band-aid off, and now I'm going to just be getting after it and everything's fixed. But listen, Brian and I, if you do that, great. We've seen enough people try that and fall on their face and get discouraged that the simple small steps every day are how you get to that end goal. Quick pause for a second. If you're finding the podcast helpful and you want more practical ideas to help move your blood sugar in the right direction, come follow us on Instagram at Diabetes Remission Partners. We share quick tips, food and exercise insights, and blood sugar mistakes people don't even realize they're making. It's also where we can answer your questions directly in the DMs. So if you want more help between episodes, Instagram at Diabetes Remission Partners is the best place to find us. And when you follow us, make sure to say hi. All right, back to the show.
And reminding yourself of your reason and why you're doing this. Because those two together, you put that formula together and it will be the motivation you're looking for. Now, can we tie this back into like how is diabetes a joke, or are we just completely off track with this? Like, can you just help bring this full circle?
Well, yeah, no, diabetes is no joke.
Oh, it's no joke. That's right.
It's no,
It is no
diabetes is
joke.
no joke, but we often treat it like it because
Yeah.
I mean, the lead in there was just how we can talk about it. We don't feel it. Listening to some of our listeners and clients, how they've admittedly and to no fault of their own kicked the can down the road, or even how providers and doctors have talked about it. Like, oh, you just have a little touch of the sugars or this or that. Like in popular media, the only thing my mind goes to are those old Wilford Brimley diabetes.
Diabetes. Yep.
And that's like kind of the joke of like, I got the diabetes. But the truth is, this is a tragic thing that's slowly killing people from the inside, like literally rotting their insides. So
Yep.
we're not here to treat it like I'm a comedian. I'm a trained comedian. You might not guess that based on the few times I might make you laugh, but that's why I'm in Tucson, not on Saturday Night Live. Here we are. Um, but I mean, the truth is, you can do this, and we're here. I'm not going to dispense a ton of jokes today, unless they're at Brian's expense, but I'm going to try to dispense some hope because we see people change every day. We see them making the small changes. We see the incremental improvements. And then a month, 2, 3 months later, they look up and they're off a couple of medicines and they can go for longer walks and they have more strength and they have more confidence, better energy. So, you know, diabetes isn't a joke, and improving it doesn't have to be complicated. I think the best jokes, the best routes to better health are simple things that can be repeated over again.
But speaking of jokes, I think laughter does help because it's one of the best medicines, right, Corey?
It is one of the best medicines, unless you want to put your diabetes in remission. And then muscle is actually one of the best medicines. So,
Okay. Well, laughter
yeah,
is maybe a close second, just
it's
because.
laughter is a very good medicine. I know. I'm just, yeah.
On a serious note, though, like I don't think this is talked about enough, as we always hear too. Like I'm just so stressed, life is busy. Well, I need to de-stress. Well, the antidote to stress is not just like a lack of it. It's actually oxytocin. It's the connection hormone, which you can get from. I've literally told people like your medicine is giving your spouse a hug or getting a hug or hugging people more, getting touch, getting that oxytocin, that tingling feeling, laughter, smiles, like that can go a long way when it comes to helping you because if you start to boost your mood, that's part of that formula. Like you're going to feel better and you're going to want to do more
Yeah.
to yeah, put yourself in a better place health wise.
It is funny, Brian, you bring that up because you and I were having kind of a downer week. We were low
Yeah.
energy, had a lot going on in life that was kind of getting at us. Didn't we hopped on this Zoom before, kind of chatting, not at our best, folks. Uh, you might don't let these smiles fool you. We weren't at our best before this,
You
okay?
can reference that now since we're on video. Good job.
Yeah, there. Just I'm just funneling people to YouTube, Brian. Just keep going there. Just boost the numbers, boost the algorithm, help people find us. No, but we actually said, we haven't really connected as much this week as we normally do, and I think
Mhm.
that's affected our mood and how we're doing. And so here we are having fun on this podcast, dispensing information, dispensing some hope, dispensing some tools to help people, and I think that's one of the things the service lights us up and gives us energy. So.
Yeah, I
Um,
love it.
that being said, if you have any good like April Fool's pranks and jokes, please go do them. My son got into pranks. I think I referenced this on a previous episode. His idea of a prank was to squirt ketchup in the sink. And he used the Primal Kitchen ketchup, which is like $8 a bottle. But then that's no joke. If you're gonna do a ketchup related joke, use the high sugar stuff so it doesn't go in someone's body. That would be a public service and hilarious, as long as it is not my sink that I have to clean out the ketchup. So, Brian, we ended on a little light note there,
Yeah, that
right?
was good.
So, thanks for listening. As a reminder, look for these episodes Wednesday and then the first and last Friday of the month. Check out our various social channels to see us in video live. Keep sending us your questions and your stories. The stories are amazing. It really puts a lot of wind in our sails. And, until next time, keep it simple and do what works.
If this episode gave you clarity or hope, share it with one friend who's been stuck in the diabetes trap. That's how this mission grows. One person, one family, one story at a time. And if you haven't yet, leaving a quick review helps more people find the show and realize they're not stuck with meds forever. It takes less than a minute and it means the world to us. Thanks for being here and thanks for being part of this movement toward freedom. Thanks for listening to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap. The ideas discussed here are for general informational purposes only and do not constitute medical or nutritional advice. We are pharmacists, but we're not your personal healthcare providers. Always consult your own physician or qualified clinician before changing medications, exercise routines, or nutrition plans. Results vary, and what works for one person may not work for another.